Okay, boys and girls. Now, sometimes you might be asked to solve word problems where you need to multiply a whole number by a fraction. So we're going to learn how to do that today and kind of the thought process behind it. So it says write an equation, then solve. Write your answer as a mixed number or a whole number when possible. Remember, it's okay to get a whole number every once in a while. Sometimes it might be a mixed number, sometimes it might be a whole number. If you get an improper fraction, you can't leave it, you need to change it. Okay, so let's look at this first one. It says there was pizza at Mace's birthday party. If each pizza was cut into 10 slices, I know that's important, so I'm going to underline it, and 42 slices were eaten, how many pizzas were there? Well, remember, it wants you to write an equation. I'm looking at this, and I can see each whole pizza was split into 10 pieces. So I know that's my denominator. There were 42 pieces eaten, so that's my fraction. Is there any whole number to multiply it by? No, there's not. So this one, we're strictly just changing an improper fraction to a mixed number, which we use division. So this would be the same as this equation. 42 divided by 10 equals, let's do P for pizza. Remember, an equation has an answer. We don't know the answer, so we're going to use a variable. So I have to solve for this. So I'm going to do 42 divided by 10. Now some of you are going to say, Mrs. Anderson, we don't know how to do double-digit division. But you know your tens facts, so you can do this one. So I count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40. It fits into that. Oh, sorry. I got ahead of myself. I need to look only at the tens place. It does not fit there, so I have to put my 0 and bring it over. Now this is where I look at the whole number. Okay, so I count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40. It fits in there 4 times. Wow, it's hard to write like this sometimes. 4 times. And I put my 40 here, and I can subtract. And I get 2 left over. So the 10 fit in that 42 4 whole times. So I put 4 as my whole number. And then how many did I have left over? 2. So I put my leftover in my numerator. And then my denominator stays the same as 10. So I should have 4 and 2/10. But it asked how many pizzas there were. Were there only 4 pizzas if I had 2/10 left over? No. I'd have to round up the remainder and make it 5 pizzas as my answer, because that's how many pieces. If we only had 4, we wouldn't have had enough for everyone. We had to have that 5th extra pizza to get those extra 2 slices. Okay? So let's take a look at this next one. It says Jess's dog weighed 7/9 of a pound. Now he weighs 30 times as much. How much does Jess's dog weigh? So before he weighed 7/9 of a pound, probably when he was first born. Then, as of right now, he weighs 30 times as much as back then. So we need to figure out how much he weighs right now. We know that he did weigh 7/9 of a pound. He weighs 30 times more right now. So that means I need to take that 30. I'm going to multiply it by 7/9. So I'm going to use my teacher's trick because I don't want to have to write 7/9 plus 7/9 plus 7/9 30 times. And I don't want to have to draw a model where I have to draw and color in 7/9 30 times. So instead I'm going to use my shortcut. And my denominator stays the same. And I just multiply the top, the numerator, by the whole number. I see that I have a 0. I know with multiplication, if I have a 0, I just can add it onto the end. And then I can do what's left over. 7 times 3. 7 times 3 would give me 21. So I have 210 ninths pounds. Does that make sense? Is that how we normally talk? No, it's not. So that's why we need to change it in to a mixed number. So I need to do that division. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to break it into 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, 210 divided by 9. I look at the hundreds place first. Can 9 fit into 2? No, it can't. So I put my zeros up top. And I bring it on over. Now I look at my hundreds and my tens. Can 9 fit into 21? Well, let's see. 9, 18. Oh, it can't go any further, so it went in twice. So that would be 20. And I would write 180 underneath. And I subtract. Well, I can't do 1 minus 8, so I have to borrow. That becomes a 1. That becomes an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0, and that was a 0 earlier. I forgot to write it. So I have 30 left over, which I bring right here. Now I look and see how many 9s can fit into 30. So I count by 9s. 9, 18, 27. Oh, can't go any further. So it went in 3 times. I subtract, and I would get, well, I can't do that, so that would become a 2, so that could become 10. 10 minus 7 gives me 3, and then 2 minus 2 is 0. So I have 3 left over, and I have that it went in a whole 23 times. So that 23 tells me it went in a whole 23 times, but there were 3 pieces left over of those 9 pieces. So Jess's dog weighs 23 3/9 pounds. Don't forget your units. Okay, here's my last one. It's a big one. Ollie was making posters for his Rubik's Cube classes to hang in the school. He needs to make sure they will fit on the open space. If the length of the poster is 3 feet, and the width of the poster, and the width is 10/12 foot wide, what is the area of the poster? So that would be something like this, where this is, 3 feet wide, and then, or 3 feet long, and then 10/12 of a foot wide. I use multiplication. I do length times width to find the area. So I need to do 3 times 10/12. And I could do repeated addition on this, or I could do the draw the model, but I want to use my teacher shortcut. I use my 12, bring my denominator over, and I multiply the whole number by the numerator. 3 times 10 would give me 30. And now I need to figure out what the mixed number would be. So I figure out, and I do 12 goes into 30 how many times? Well, I count on my fingers. 12, 24. Can't go anymore, so I know it went in a full 2 times. And I have to figure out how much is left over. So I'm going to write it on the side and do 30 minus 24. Figure this out. Oh, make that a 10, 6, 0 left over. So there's 6 left over of the 12. Some of you might see this and realize, oh, Mrs. Anderson, that is an equivalent fraction. You could also write it as 2 1/2. So you could either have 2 6/12 square feet or 2 1/2 square feet. Either one I would accept. If you see that you can create that equivalent fraction, that's awesome. If you don't notice it and keep it as that, I'm okay with that too. So as you go through, make sure to think about the problems Think about what it's asking and how you can solve it. You can use my shortcut method when doing the multiplication. Good luck. If you have questions, always message me on Google Hangouts. See you guys. Bye.